They imagine freedom, choices, the ability to live life on their own terms. Yet for most that dream never becomes reality. Not because it's impossible, but because they never build the right foundation. Financial independence is not an accident. It doesn't come from luck. And it doesn't come from chance. It comes from philosophy. It comes from principles. It comes from doing the small things right, over and over, until they grow into something lasting. When I was young, I thought independence meant earning more money. But I learned quickly that earning is only part of the equation. Some people earn a fortune and still end up broke. Others earn not so much and end up secure. So the key is not just income. It's what you do with it. That's where the 5 pillars come in. These are the SUPPORTS that hold up financial freedom. Leave one out and the structure weakens. Practice them all, and you build something that can last for a lifetime. These pillars are not complicated. They are simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. Simple requires commitment. Simple requires consistency. And simple requires that you be serious enough about your future to change what needs to change today. Look at any building around the city. If the foundation is weak, the walls crumble. If the pillars are missing, the roof caves in. The same is true with your financial life. If the SUPPORTS are not in place, you may earn and spend 4 years and still end up without independence. So today, I want to walk you through each of these pillars, not as theories, but as practices. Not as ideas, but as disciplines you can build into your life. If you adopt them, they will not just change your money. They will change your future. Because here's the truth. Independence is not just about dollars. It's about dignity. It's about freedom of choice. It's about the ability to say yes when you want to, and no when you need to. And that kind of independence is built, not given. See, most people spend their lives trading HOURS for dollars. They get caught in the cycle of earning and spending, never stopping to build a foundation that lasts. That's why financial independence is not just about money. It's about philosophy. It's about the way you think, the way YOUACT, and the way you set things in motion. Now I call the first pillar discipline. Discipline is the bridge between thought and accomplishment. Without discipline, the greatest plans dissolve into wishful thinking. With discipline, even the smallest plan gains strength. Think about IT. Everyone wants independence. Everyone wants choices, but wanting is cheap. Discipline is what converts desire into reality. It's what makes you save when you'd rather spend. It's what makes you invest when fear tells you to hold back. It's what makes you stay the course when others drift off track. I remember when I first started working. My paycheck came and like anyone young and excited, I had places for that money to go. A new suit, a dinner out, a shiny little toy, and one day, Mr. CHAUFE made me realize that I was spending it all faster than it came in. And over the next few years, he taught me about discipline. See, Mr. SHOWFORD always say, if you don't make the small SACRIFICES today, you'll face bigger SACRIFICES tomorrow. Discipline STARTS, small, $1 out of 10. A consistent record kept, a plan written down. Some people think discipline is a prison. No, discipline is freedom. The freedom to look back a year from now and see progress instead of regret. The freedom to look ahead 5 years and know you are on a path. Not lost in a maze now. Here's the key: discipline must be practiced daily. You can't cram discipline the way you cram for an exam. You can't suddenly wake up at age 60 and say, "Now I'll be disciplined with my money." It's too late then. You must build it when the amounts are small, so that when the amounts are large, your habits are already set. Somebody says, "Well, if I had more money, I'd be disciplined." That's not true if you can't handle $100. You won't handle 1,000 if you can't handle 1,000. You won't handle 10. Zero money doesn't change you. It magnifies you if you are careless with little. You'll be reckless with much. If you are disciplined with little, you'll be trusted with more. Think of discipline as planting a tree. You put a seed in the ground. You water it, you protect it. You keep it even when the results aren't visible. Years later, you've got shade. You've got fruit, you've got strength. But all of it came from daily disciplined effort. So if the first pillar of financial independence is discipline, then here's the question: where in your financial life are you lacking discipline? Right now, are you keeping records? Are you saving consistently? Are you spending consciously? Or are you letting money slip away unnoticed? Ask yourself, if your current habits continued for the next 10 years, would you end up financially independent or financially dependent? That question is the test, and the answer will tell you whether you've built on the first pillar or not. Next, the second pillar of financial independence is planning. If discipline is the foundation, planning is the blueprint. You can be disciplined and still go in CRCLES. If you don't have a clear plan, most people drift financially. They earn a little, they spend a little. They save if something happens to be left. That's not a plan, that's hope. And hope is not a strategy. Hope is fine in the garden. Hope is fine when you're waiting for spring to arrive. But when it comes to finance, you need something more exact. Think about building a house. You don't just start STACKING, BRICKS in the yard and hope it looks like a home. When you're done, you need a drawing, a design, a clear picture of the outcome. The same is true with your money. Without a plan, you'll end up with pieces but no structure. A little savings here, a little debt there. Some investiments scattered around. And no harmony. A plan gives your money an assignment. A plan tells each dollar where it belongs. Some dollars go to living. Some go to savings, some go to investing. Some go to giving without a plan. Dollars wander away like children left unsupervised. With a plan, every dollar has a purpose. So you've got to look ahead. Don't start the day until you have it finished on paper. Don't start the month until you know where the money will go. Don't start the year until you've outlined your objective. C. Looking that far ahead changes everything. The beauty of planning is that it multiples discipline. Discipline says, I will save. Planning says, I will save this much for this reason into this account. Toward this goal, that's power. That's clarity, and clarity produces results. Someone says, well, I don't know what will happen in the future. Of course not, none of us do. But that's not an excuse for drifting. Planning isn't about PREDCTNG. It's about PREPRNG. It's saying, if things go well, here's my course. If things go poorly, here's my backup. If the unexpected happens, here's my margin of safety. Let me give you an example. A man saves 10% of his income without a plan. That's good. Another man saves 10%. But he has a clear goal. This portion for emergencies. This portion for investment. This portion for future projects. 10 years later, who do you think is ahead? Not just financially, but in confidence, in control and peace of mind. The one with the plan. And here's the thing. Planning forces you to confront reality. When you put things on paper, you can't lie to yourself. You see where the money is going. You see the LEAKS, you see the waste. And you also see the POSSIBLITIS. Suddenly, independence doesn't look like a dream. It looks like a destination with a roadmap. So here's the challenge. Sit down and write out your financial blueprint. What do you want the next 5 years to look like? What do you want the next 10 years to look like? How much do you need to set aside? What HABITS must you develop? What INVESTMENTS must you make? Don't leave it to chance, don't drift. Decide. Discipline KEPS you steady. Planning KEPS you aim together. They form a double strength that no setback can easily break. Next, the third pillar of financial independence is knowledge. If discipline BUILDS the foundation, and planning PROVIDES the blueprint, then knowledge is the light that guides the way. Too many people try to make money DCIS in the dark. They follow rumors THUI trust chance. They ACT on impulse. But when it comes to your financial future, ignorance is expensive. What you don't know can cost you more than what you do. Now, knowledge doesn't mean becoming an expert in everything. You don't need to know how to design a car engine, to drive a car, but you do need to know how to steer, how to brake, how to read the signs on the road. The same goes for money. You don't have to become a Wall Street genius, but you do need to understand the BASICS of saving, investing, debt, taxes, and risk. When I first started, I didn't know much. I worked hard, but money slipped through my fingers because I didn't understand how it worked. Then I met Mr. CHAUFE, and everything changed for me. I began to study, I read the books. I LISTNED to people with experience. I asked them QSTONS, I paid attention. And slowly but surely my ignorance turned into insight. And my insight turned into choices that mattered. I'm telling you knowledge, MULTIPLIS money. If you know how interest works, you can put it to work for you instead of against you. If you know how taxes work, you can keep more of what you earn. If you know how MARKETS move, you can invest wisely instead of gambling blindly. Every bit of knowledge is like turning on another light in the room. Next thing you know, you start seeing OPPORTUNITIS that were hidden before. Now the danger is to let money remain a mystery. Some people say I'm just not good with numbers. But financial independence isn't about numbers. It's about PRINCIPLES. You don't need a degree in mathematics. You need an understanding of value, of time, of growth. Think of knowledge like a compass. Imagine hiking through the forest without one. You may walk fast, you may have energy. You may even have discipline. But without direction, you may end up lost. Knowledge gives you that direction. It shows you the difference between a wise risk and a foolish gamble. It shows you when to be patient and when to ACT. But here's something important that we can't afford to forget. Knowledge without action is wasted. Some people keep learning, reading, attending seminars, collecting information, yet they never apply it. They become financially educated and financially broke. Knowledge must be converted into DCISONS. into habits into movement. So what should you take from this? Start with this. Know where your money comes from and where it goes. Know how much you earn, how much you keep, how much you invest. Know how debt compounds and how savings grow. Know the basics of real estate, business and investments. Build your financial vocabulary. And remember, you don't have to learn it all at once. Knowledge is GATHRD daily. Not in a single day, a little study each week, a little practice each month. And over time, you become financially wise. Financial independence is not for the uninformed. It belongs to those who turn on the light, who study the rules of money, and then use them to their advantage next. The fourth pillar of financial independence is patience. If knowledge provides the compass, patience provides the endurance to keep moving in the right direction. Money grows slowly like SESONS chain. You cannot plant a seed today and expect fruit tomorrow. Yet many people make that mistake. They want quick RETURNS instant wealth, sudden BREKTHROUGHS, and when IT doesn't come, they get discouraged or reckless. Financial independence is not a lottery. It's not a lucky break. It's the gradual reward of steady effort over time. Patience is what allows compounding to do its work. Compounding is one of the most powerful forces in the financial world, but it requires time. You earn a little interest. That interest EARNS interest. And over years it multiplies without patience. You interrupt the process and lose the magic. I like to compare patience to farming. Growing up on that small farm in Idaho. Here's what I noticed: a farmer plants in the spring, tends the crops through summer, and waits for the harvest in the fall. He doesn't dig up the seed every week to see if it's growing. He trusts the process, he stays faithful. He gives it time. The same principle applies to your finances. Plant with discipline, guide with planning, protect with knowledge, and then give it time to grow. Because the lack of patience is costly. I have a friend who likes the idea of stocks. But here's the problem. He pulls money out the moment the market dips. Fear makes him sell low, greed makes him buy high. Lack of patience ruins his results. But someone who understands CYCLES, who trusts the long view, who lets time and discipline work together. 10 years later, that guy has independence. And unfortunately, my friend has frustration. But patience passive. It doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means staying the course while continuing to learn, continuing to save, continuing to manage wisely. Patience is active consistency, not idle waiting. Patience TSHS humility. It reminds you that results don't always arrive on your schedule. Life has SETBACKS, the economy shifts. Plans take longer than expected. Patience allows you to endure those SESONS without giving up. Here's a simple way to become more patient. Imagine where you could be in 5 years. If you practice steady habits saving, investing, studying without fail. Now, imagine where you'd be if you abandoned those habits after only 6 months, because results didn't show fast enough. That difference reveals the true cost of being impatient. Patience is what keeps you from falling for SHRTCUTS. Every few years someone promises a new scheme, a faster way, a trick to skip the work. But SHRTCUTS often lead to dead ends. Patience says stay with the fundamentals. Stay with the principles that have stood the test of time. So let patience be your guardrail. When excitement tempts you to rush, patience slows you down. When discouragement tempts you to quit, patience strengthens your resolve. Financial independence is not just about making money. It's about making time your ally. Okay, now, the fifth pillar of financial independence might sound a little counterproductive, considering we're trying to save some money. But here it is: generosity. I know it sounds strange, right? How can giving be a pillar of independence? Isn't independence about keeping more, building more, holding on? But the truth is, the flow of money depends on circulation. What flows out makes room for more to flow in. Being generous is proof that money doesn't control you. If you can give it away, then you are the master. If you cling to it so tightly that fear rules every decision, then money is the master and you are the servant. Independence is not just having wealth. It's having the freedom to use it with purpose. Now, being generous doesn't mean reckless spending. It doesn't mean throwing money around without thought. It means consciously directing a portion of what you earn to causes, people, and purposes beyond yourself. It could be helping family, supporting a community project, contributing to your church, or investing in someone's education. The form doesn't matter as much as the habit. When I first began to give, I noticed something remarkable. It changed my perspective. Instead of asking what can I get, I began asking what can I give. That shift creates balance. It keeps you from becoming obsessed with accumulation. It turns money into a tool rather than an idol. Generosity, SPRADSITMULTIPLIS. The person who gives creates influence. Influence opens doors. Influence builds trust. Influence attracts cooperation. Sometimes the return on generosity is not immediate, but over a lifetime. It creates connections that money alone could never buy. Here's the best part. Being generous will make you grateful. I'm telling you, when you give, you'll notice that what you have came from effort, yes, but also from opportunity, from the help of others, from the blessings of circumstance. Giving keeps you thankful. And gratitude fuels contentment, which is another kind of wealth. Now let me be clear. Being generous is not just for the wealthy. In fact, it must start when you have little. If you give a dime out of every dollar, you build a habit that can grow into 100 out of every 1,000, 1,000 out of every 10, 0. If you wait until you're rich to be generous, you may never be generous. Think of a society where no one gave. No schools, no CHRITIS. No shared projects, no relief for the poor. It would collapse. Our independence is connected to the independence of others. By giving, you strengthen the world you live in. By strengthening the world, you secure your own foundation. And here's the paradox. Those who give often end up with more. Maybe not immediately. Maybe not in the exact form they expect. But over time, life seems to reward those who contribute. It's as if the world says, here is someone who can be trusted with resources, because they know how to use them for good. So discipline, planning, knowledge, and patience set the stage. But being generous completes the circle. It keeps you balanced, it keeps you human. And it keeps the flow of wealth moving in the right direction. Now comes the question. How do you take these 5 pillars and apply them, knowing the principles is not enough? Financial independence comes only when principles are put into practice. Start with discipline, set up a simple system. Take a portion of everything you earn and set it aside. Don't wait for leftovers, make it the first decision. Not the last, even if it's small. Let it be consistent. That simple builds the foundation of control. Then add planning, put it on paper. Decide how much goes to living, how much to saving, how much to investing, and how much to giving. Write it down. Review it often, adjust as life changes. But keep the structure firm. A written plan is the difference between wandering and DRSITING. Layer on knowledge. Don't drift through your financial life unaware. Read, study. Ask questions. Learn the rules of money. Learn how taxes affect you. How investments grow, how debt accumulates. Knowledge gives. The more tools you have, the more skillfully you can build. Next, COMES patience, commit to the long view. Don't abandon the plan because results are slow. Remember, SEEDs take time. Wealth is built in SESONS, not MOMENTS. Trust the process. Stay steady and let compounding reward your consistency. The impatient hand often loses. The patient hand often wins. And finally, try to be grateful. Don't wait for wealth to arrive before you share. Build it into your system now. Generosity adds meaning to the money. It protects you from greed. It connects you to people and purposes greater than yourself. And IT proves that. Independence is not just about escape. It's about contribution. Now, when you bring all 5 pillars together, you have balance. Discipline without generosity can make you rigid. Generosity without discipline can make you reckless. Planning without patience can make you anxious. Knowledge without action can make you stagnant. But when the 5 pillars work together, you create strength, stability, and freedom. Financial independence is not a single decision. It is a series of decisions repeated over years. It is the quiet power of small daily habits. It is the result of choosing principles over impulse. So here's the challenge. Don't let these pillars remain ideas. Take one step today, write a plan. Set aside a portion, pick up a book on finance. Open a savings account. Give a gift to someone who needs it. Do something to turn philosophy into practice. Financial independence is not PROMICD. It is not automatic, it is EARNED, by choice. By habit, by principle. And those are the 5 pillars. Discipline, the daily decisions that keep you steady. Planning, the blueprint that directs your effort. Knowledge, the light that reveals opportunity. Patience, the endurance that allows growth. Generosity, the balance that keeps money your servant, not your master. And then the application. The ACT of turning philosophy into action. Not someday, but today. 5 pillars, build them into your life. And over time, they will carry you to financial independence. Or don't, I mean. The choice is yours, spend what you make. Hope for the best. Blame circumstances when IT doesn't work out. But building that takes intention. Building means setting aside when others spend. It means studying when others are entertained. It means planting when others are wasting. And it means waiting when others are rushing. But think of the reward. Imagine a life where choices are yours, not dictated by debt or desperation. Imagine a life where opportunities can be taken, not missed. Imagine the freedom to work because you choose to, not because you must. That is independence. Don't mistake independence for luxury. It's not about having everything. It's about controlling what you have. It's about having enough margin to breathe, to give, to live. So I leave you with a challenge. Take one pillar, start today. Don't wait until the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only the decision you make right now. If you are undisciplined, begin with a small act of control. If you are unplanned, put pen to paper today. If you are uninformed, pick up a book and read. If you are impatient, commit to 5 years instead of 5 minutes. If you are ungenerous, give something, no matter how small, to prove to yourself that money doesn't own you. One step leads to another. One habit leads to a new life. And 5 pillars applied faithfully can carry you to independence. The question is not whether the pillars will work. As a foundation, they will. The question is whether you are going to build there or not.